What's up? What's up? It's your boy Levelhead, and this is another Live and Level Gamers podcast. We have about 3/4 of the crew in the building. D2K, Jedi Knight, Keith Norris, and your boy Levelhead. K-Bum 20 will not be here tonight. But what's up, fellas? Y'all can mute your mics. What's up, people?
What's going on?
My bad. I was trying to get to it.
Nah, you good. So, yeah, we skipped last Thursday, man. I wasn't up for it. I was tired. I got off work, back hurting, and came home, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I put it up. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do tonight. And then K-Bum was like, man, I won't be able to make it. And I was like, Jesus, though. But how y'all been, man?
Man, just like you, working, trying the game, not really. Living life, paying bills.
Ain't that crazy how, man, I don't get the game as much as I desire. When I get it in, I get it in. But here lately, I just got to 20 on Splatoon 2. I'm at level 20. So I did that last night. But for the most part, man, I ain't really been able to game myself. What about you, D2K? Are you saying something? D2K.
Oh, I didn't hear you. You were breaking up.
I said, what about you? What you been on?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I've just been playing the same normal stuff. Been busy doing other things. I haven't really had time to game that much.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, like I said, this is a Live and Level Gamers podcast 116, episode 116. That's the instrumental of the Click. I don't know if y'all heard that track before. This is a dope track, man. I love this track. But anyway, I was gonna spit something on it.
Hey, I thought I saw Jedi. Is Jedi in here?
Yeah, he here. He muted right now. He gonna jump back in here in a second.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he here for the podcast. We got you know who missing. K-Bum 20 always leaving us hanging, man. You know who always missing. But anyway, we started talking about this before the podcast. So, what did you think about the Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight of the century? So to put it.
I'll just say I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I was informed that I could watch it on YouTube, so I might do that. I might check it out.
What about you, D2K?
Well, it was a lot better than it had any business being. A lot of people didn't give Conor McGregor a chance to do anything, and he proved that he can at least look competent for at least 3 rounds. And, at the end of the day, the end result was what we expected, but we got a nice little surprise because it was actually an entertaining fight, and it wasn't a fiasco. So I think they delivered on what they were expecting. I mean, it still wasn't worth $100, but no fight is worth $100.
You took it. I was just going to say that, but I checked it out. Well, the interesting thing, I was watching commentary by some Conor McGregor Irish fans. That was interesting. I'm sitting up. We had just got done celebrating my twin's birthday, so I'm at home. I'm laying down, listening to this commentation by these Irish fans, and it was funny because the first 3 rounds, when I actually saw the fight, McGregor brought it to Mayweather. He he smothered them, was hitting them with some leather, and in the commentation they was screaming and talking about how he just owning Mayweather and this, that, and the other. But then towards the 4th and 5th round, they whole tone changed. And it was the funniest thing ever because they didn't want to cheer Mayweather, but they had to. And they was like, well, he really hit him right there. Well, at least and they knew it was over by the 4th. They was like, it's over, it's done. Then when the 10th round came and they TKO, techno knockout, they was like, well, he won a what they call a
moral victory.
Moral, yeah, that's what they said. He won a moral victory because it shouldn't have went the distance that it went. Which, if you know anything about Mayweather, I didn't see it not going. I didn't see it going the distance, but I did see it going about 9-10 rounds. So, but yeah, I guess it was good for fighting and MMA and boxing. I guess it was all right.
Boxing needed that. I mean, especially after that fiasco with the Pacquiao Jeff Horn fight, they needed that. That's something they desperately needed to get things right. It still ain't right, but that erases that stain a little bit. Because that was ridiculous.
Ain't it crazy how it's almost like boxing needs Mayweather? Like, we haven't seen this spectacle around boxing since Mayweather Pacquiao. Like, it seemed like when that man steps away from boxing, it's almost like Jordan when he stepped away from basketball. Like, it ain't no one here to replace him yet.
No, I mean, it's gonna be like it was when Jordan left. It's gonna be more or less of the collection of talent that will have to carry the weight until the next person comes along, because there's a lot of young talent out there, and they're each gonna have to play their role just to keep boxing interesting. There'll be some intriguing fights, but the cash cow that's gone now. So
yeah, that's gonna be interesting. What you think, Keith? I mean, like, Mayweather really is showing his value, man. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm over here folding clothes, man.
No,
I'm trying to put in this work. Yeah, you're right. I don't keep my ear to the boxing ring or anything like that. But when I do hear something, it's usually something involving Mayweather. So I definitely agree. I barely hear anything. I barely hear anything from the MMA side of things.
Well, you had McGregor, you had Ronda Rousey, you had John Bone Jones. What's the wrestler?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. I mean, they got so many pulls and so many draws. For a minute in boxing, if it wasn't Mayweather, it was Pacquiao, and Pacquiao name is tarnished. He done. I mean, as far as being a drawing card, Pacquiao, unless he fighting Mayweather, it's not going to be a big card. And it don't matter who Mayweather fights, he knows how to promote the fight to the point that even though we all knew McGregor had no chance, this fight did better than the Pacquiao Mayweather fight.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I agree that once he step away, I think this probably is his last one, right? His last boxing match.
Yeah, he said he leaving after this. So
yeah,
there's no reason for him to box another fight. I mean, there's nobody out there. I mean, there's nobody out there that he's gonna make the type of money that he made from Pacquiao and McGregor to fight. There's nobody left. So, I mean, you could say, well, he could fight Triple G if he beats Alvarez because there's no reason for him to fight Alvarez again because he destroyed him. But if Triple G versus Mayweather, it'd be an interesting fight, but it's not gonna do the money that this fight did or the Pacquiao fight did. So there's nothing out there for him.
Yeah, and he don't want to see no Triple G. I'm telling that right now. He can't, cause Triple G is McGregor with boxing skills and can go the distance, and he don't want none of that. I wouldn't if I was Mayweather, and I say that with no shame, man. No, don't even try to jump in the ring with that brother. That brother got knockout power in both hands. and he bigger than you. He a natural 170. Nah, he don't want none of that. None of that at all. So I mean, it's just real. I mean, what Makoto was to me, Makoto, if he had better boxing skills, could have gave Mayweather, because he's one that gave Mayweather a fit a little bit. And
who's Makoto?
Is it Cotto? No, not Makoto. Cotto. I said Makoto.
Miguel Cotto?
Yeah, Miguel Cotto.
Well, see, I don't know about that, because last night he had a fight against this Japanese guy, and he hit that guy with everything, including the kitchen sink and the bathroom tub, and this dude just kept coming forward. He wouldn't stop. I'd never seen a human being get hit that much and that hard.
Yeah, I'm saying Makoto gave Mayweather fits when they fought a little bit for a few of them rounds. But yeah, I ain't see the fight with Makoto and this dude you're talking about now, though.
Yeah, that fight was on HBO just before the Mayweather fight came on, because that was a Golden Boy sponsored fight.
Okay.
So it was a good fight. This Japanese dude, I mean, you know the episode of The Simpsons? You know the episode of The Simpsons where Homer was boxing, but he didn't throw a punch. He just could take a bunch of punches, and he was winning fights because people was tiring out. That's what this fight looked like, because he was hitting him with everything, and this dude was like, what?
Man, I'm going to go look that one up. I mean, I got HBO, so I can probably look it on demand or something. But that's interesting, man. Like I said, I was out. I came home, and I was trying to find, I knew I wasn't going to find no videos of it, but I was trying to find commentators that would talk about it round for round. And like I said, I found the YouTube clip where there was some Irish McGregor fans. So I just listened to it. But, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go look up that Cotto fight. I ain't know anything about that. But that sound kind of crazy. But, yeah, Cotto gave Mayweather a fit early. But later in the rounds, Mayweather picked him apart. But early, he gave him a fit, man. Mayweather took a while to figure him out. And he big, so Triple G bigger than him and hit harder than him and younger. No, the Mayweather go home with his.
I mean, I would say that now it would be a problem, but maybe a couple years ago it wouldn't be a problem at all, because when you saw that fight with Alvarez, is that he was just too slow. Alvarez is bigger, stronger, but he couldn't touch Mayweather because he was too slow. Yeah, and that could be the same thing with Triple G, is that this dude might just be too slow for Mayweather to catch. I mean, for him to catch Mayweather, so Mayweather could just do the same thing to him that he did to Alvarez.
But going off what you said about McGregor was touching Mayweather, even though I feel like McGregor
was fast. McGregor was fast. He was super. I mean, especially the way he switched stances. I'm like, man, I've never seen anybody do that before. He was fast. He was real fast, but he's a lot younger, So
yeah, we'll see. I just felt like Mayweather wasn't giving him the respect he would give a professional, true boxer. I don't think Mayweather would have walked him down like he was walking McGregor down, and literally walking into punches, not even really concerning himself that fact. I mean, he getting hits and smiling behind it and still he coming forward. That ain't even Mayweather. So I took it as he wasn't giving him the respect. But anyway.
I agree with that. Wasn't giving him respect.
But anyway, let's get into it, man. So we ain't here to talk about Floyd Mayweather and McGregor fight. We're here to talk about video games. We kind of said we haven't played anything, but I'm gonna give folks an opportunity to say what they have played over the week, starting with D2K. What you been on? What have you played this week, if you played anything?
Halo.
Was the original?
No, I mean, if I'm playing Halo, that means I'm playing Master Chief Collection or Halo Wars, one of those two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, I haven't really played anything else. I've tried. I think I don't even remember. I didn't see. I've been so busy that I don't even remember half the stuff that I play. I mean, I've been messing around with some of the Xbox Live stuff, but I've been playing a lot of Rayman Legends lately for some reason. I never completed that game, and every time I play it, it's like a new experience because it's got so many boards on it, and I'm trying to figure out how they actually got this done because it just seems like the boards just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. You're like, how many boards are on this game? But I remember a couple podcasts ago we were talking about Rare outdoing Nintendo or doing Nintendo better than Nintendo. I think that Rayman Legends Ubisoft did Nintendo better than Nintendo because everything that I liked about platformers and what got me into platformers, Rayman Legends has that in spades. It's just a really well done game.
Okay. Yeah, that's one game, man. When Ubisoft pulled it back off the Wii U and pushed it all the way back to I think September, October, 2012. I think that's when they did that.
It was 2013.
Was it 2013?
Yeah,
2013 because it released 2012. Okay, so I never really played it, man. I played the demo and the demo that the Wii U had on it that let you play certain stages and trial runs and speed runs and stuff like that. I played that, but the actual game I really haven't really played. So, but little bit I played, I won't say I felt like it was funner than Mario, a new Super Mario Bros, but it was right there with it. I say that. Music was better, and boss fights was definitely, well, now that I think about it.
See?
The music was better. The boss fights was better. Man, we might have to revisit that topic. Now that I think about it, a little bit that I played was definitely fun, but I haven't played enough to say whether it's better than new Super Mario Bros. But man, you bring up an interesting thought, man. With that, I didn't think about that. But so is anything that's it basically for you, D2K?
Yeah.
All right. Keith Norris, what you been gaming on, man?
First of all, I'm still salty about Rayman Legends being multiplayer on the Wii U. So I haven't played it, and I don't plan on playing it. I don't care that it's coming out on the Switch. Not playing it. Yeah, I said it. I'm just sitting there listening like, nah, I can't do it. No, I've been trying to go through my back catalog, man. I've been trying to think about how I'm going to do this gaming thing going forward. Like, I know we like to run out and get every new game that comes out, but a lot of times we don't have to do that. I think I'm going to hold off on buying PC games and try to go through some of this stuff that I've already bought. But nonetheless, because I'm definitely getting Mario Rabbids next this week.
Is that this week?
That's this week. This Friday. I think it's this Friday.
Wow, that fast?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
They just announced that at E3. That was a couple months ago.
But yeah, I've been trying to go through my back catalog. I finished the original I beat the original Tomb Raider reboot on PlayStation 3, and I bought it again on PC just because I wanted it, and it was like $5. But I was like, let me go ahead and beat it since I did pay for it. Now my next one is trying to go back and finish Batman, and then I think after that it's going to be Evil Within. That's with trying to play Mario Rabbids and everything else. I still haven't even beat Splatoon 2 yet, the single player yet. So, but that's what I've been doing, just trying to go through this back catalog. But hey, I'm finna go mute one more time. I gotta go do something, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Man, you know what? I just turned on to look at the live chat, and I noticed that we already got our famous one vote down. Somebody is dedicated to thumbing down our stuff. Man. I like it. I appreciate it. That showed tenacity and determination to make sure you downvote everything I do. That's so funny to me.
It is funny because they got to get you to click first in order to do that. So
right. It's crazy, man. I mean, it never fails. It don't matter what I put up. I got one person, and it got to be the same person. And it's like, dude, you're a faithful fan of mine. I appreciate your downvote. Thank you. Anyway, as far as me, man, I played some Splatoon 2. Been trying to get my level up. I'm at level 20, and I just got there yesterday. I also bought. I don't know if you heard of this game. It's I downloaded this Fight of the Wolf or something like that. Wait a minute. Let me look it up. It's on the Switch in the eShop. It's made by SNK. It's kind of what prompted my thoughts about this. Who did Fighters better, Capcom or SNK? But I need to
Fight of the Wolf. I've never heard of that.
Some wolves, something like that.
Is it Is it Mark of the Wolves?
Yes, Mark of the Wolves.
Okay, yes. It's a Fatal Fury game. Yeah,
it's a Fatal Fury game, and
I know what you're talking
about. I had never played it. It's hard as crap, but it's a good game, man. It's a dope game. The fight mechanics is dope. If the graphics was better, because it's basically 1999, 2000 graphics, right. But the mechanics of the game is dope, man. I mean, the way they fight, the way they move is so fluid and so Tekken-ish. If I can say that, like it's like playing Tekken in a 2D space. They fight like Tekken. Some of the moves and combination feels like a Tekken type of approach, but then it's in 2D, and that's what prompted our main topic. Did SNK do 2D fighters better than Capcom with Street Fighters? And we had that conversation here later. But I've been playing that Mark of the Wolves. I played Splatoon 2, got to level 20. Play some more Sonic Mania, but not a whole lot. But that's been about it, man. That's all my gaming for the week. So watch that Fate of the Furies. I don't know if y'all seen that with Fast and the Furious, Fate of the Furies. No, watch that. That's a good movie, man. That's pretty good. Some a little over the top spots that you know just would not happen in real life. Which a lot of what they do is like that, but when The Rock can hang out a door and push a torpedo with his bare hands, like what? It was like, yeah, it's one scene where The Rock, first of all they own a big ice sheet, and they have a submarine chasing them, and I think it shoots a torpedo on. And The Rock gets out the car and has Tyrese character hold the wheel. He hangs from the door, puts his hand on the torpedo and pushes the torpedo into another vehicle. It was kind of like, okay, now y'all tripping with this, but they made The Rock like the Hulk, basically. The Rock was basically the Hulk in this movie. He was doing the Hulk type of stuff. Broke his chains off his arm, just snapped them like they was a twig, like two. The Rock is not finna snap no police handcuffs like that, man. He just snapped them, but it's a good movie though. Definitely a good movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just saying, man. You know that's basically been it. So anyway, sorry that my boy Jedi Knight had to drop out. He was here for a second. He had to mute himself because he was doing something, but that situation he had to do kind of took his space. So he dropped out for this evening, so we won't have him here. But anyway, let's get into this topics, man. We ain't got much to talk about, but I guess we want to talk about Gamescom and see what you guys thought about Gamescom. Was there anything interesting that took place in Gamescom?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Keep going. Go ahead.
That Xbox One S, what you call that game? Minecraft edition. It's gonna be beautiful, man. I can't even. No, man. That's go ahead, D2K. I don't know, man.
I don't want to go first.
It was horrible, bro. It was horrible. I don't know. Like I watched it. I didn't know it was coming out. I saw one of these YouTubers, he was streaming, and I was like, "Oh, really? Gamescom? Let me see if Microsoft is going to pull something new or something that we didn't know that was coming." And I think the only things they announced was Jurassic Park. I think that's what you call it, Jurassic Park. It's like a
Jurassic Park Evolution. I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. And there was another game that was kind of similar, I think. And then they got to talking about how many not remakes, but like Xbox One X upgrade games. They got like over 100 games and things like that. And I'm just sitting back thinking to myself, like, okay, how is this going to sell the console? And then, and you know what? Believe it or not, and I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I actually pre-ordered the Scorpio edition Xbox One, but I canceled it. But I pre-ordered it because I was like, I'm gonna sell this thing, but I don't think that's gonna work. This ain't a Nintendo type console. It ain't gonna work like that. I'm not gonna get the money back. So um, I'm just being honest.
Well, I don't know. Maybe something like that, a collector's item, you might. But if it was
Man, look,
something else.
if you go to eBay and you type in Xbox One X Scorpio edition, people are trying to sell it for like $2,000. It's not gonna. It's not gonna. They're not gonna get that.
So you were just pre-ordering so that you could sell it. It wasn't never meant to be.
You trying to flip it right away?
I was trying to flip it. I was never even going to open the box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this ain't Gamescom related, but well, it is and it isn't. Xbox, and you kind of posted this, Keith. Xbox did say that they had a record sellout of the pre-orders for the Xbox One. It set a record. So, what when you sent me this post, I can't even keep a straight face with this trying to talk about this. When you sent me this post, man, all I could think about was L's. Like, we already been talking about Microsoft and the fact that they just been taking L's pretty much since 2013. They've been taking L's the whole way. So we all been like, have we been harsh on Microsoft? Have we been a little overboard with the criticism as far as the whole industry? And then they come out and they do stuff like this that kind of justifies the criticism that is levied towards them. Like, why would you even act like you sold out pre-orders faster than you ever have? Like, come on, man. Everybody knew that pre-orders are going to sell out. Like, what accomplishment did you make by all your pre-orders selling out? I don't know what Microsoft is talking about here.
That reminds me when Reggie had made a comment about people were trying to petition to get something on the Wii U or something like that, and he was like, just because you petition and sign your name on something don't mean it's going to sell. So just because all these people pre-ordered don't mean that these pre-orders can't be canceled. These haven't been sold yet, so it don't matter. Like, this is one of those Xbox dictionary type labels that they've came up with. We've sold out pre-orders. This is a console exclusive. Man, come on. Microsoft always taking L's, man.
So Microsoft basically had a press conference last week. I don't know if y'all watched it. I say I attempted to watch it, but it was not what I thought it was going to be. It was like their version of a treehouse, just wasn't as good and nor as interesting and
or necessary.
What'd you say?
Or necessary.
Yeah, yeah. So was there anything in this hour 30-minute long press conference or whatever you would call it? I don't even know what to call it. Was there anything in it that was interesting?
Nope.
New controllers.
Nope, that ain't even interesting. They come
So,
with controls all the time.
it's like this system. Yeah, and I agree. It wasn't nothing that they showed that I thought, a little bit that I spent watching. I think I stayed on it about 45 minutes, and then I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't listen to these people talk. I can't. It was jarred. It wasn't. It didn't flow. It was kind of stiff and, like you said, pointless, unnecessary. Like, to me, they should have did a E3 like presentation. That's what they should have did. I don't know what they was thinking with this and hyping this up as something we should tune into. It wasn't. I don't think it was worth our time, to be honest with you. And I don't think it helped the position of the Xbox One X.
No, not at all. They said they was gonna bring some exclusives, and they did. I mean, they kept their word, but
yeah, it's exclusive for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not exclusive anymore.
I mean,
I just don't know what.
No, I was just
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'll give them this, and I'm just gonna transition this because I don't want to stay too long on this. Just to keep them with the Microsoft talk.
And no, I was just saying, just keeping up with the Microsoft talk and what I was asking you guys earlier, and I was asking if K-Mon had an Xbox, because I was thinking that maybe we should all try to get on Sea of Thieves. Now I'm gaming on the PC. D2K, everybody else has the Xbox One, and D2K also has a PC. But the point was, is I give them this: they're bringing people together. They're bringing people from different worlds together. Even with which game is it? Minecraft with the Switch. Switch gamers are now able to play with Xbox gamers, and I think also PC gamers. So Microsoft, I give them kudos to bringing people together. But man, people at the end of the day, people still just want to play like exclusive games, and Microsoft, you're just not bringing it, man. You're just not bringing it. It's sad.
I mean, yeah, I guess by default they are. They don't have no choice. That's the only thing they can push that would make them sound like true game centric a company over Sony, because Sony is refusing to allow their base to play with other communities, and it's like they trying to levy that as something negative to Sony, but Sony is in a position they don't have to, and Microsoft ain't in a position where, right, like you said, it's cool that they doing it, but I doubt Microsoft would have done it through the 360 era. They wouldn't allow nobody to play with their community because they were on top. So I don't know if they deserve any kudos for basically having no other option but to try to do this, because Sony is just wearing them out. For if you into that whole scene, especially if you into the whole console war nonsense, Sony is handing Microsoft they behind right now, and it ain't. They haven't done anything, even with the Xbox One X being the most powerful. Even that rhetoric has lost its muster, its weight. So I don't know what Microsoft is going to do. I just don't have a clue. Matter of fact, I would go so far as to say Microsoft is starting to take back seats to the Switch. The Switch has moved into more popular space than Xbox has. So I don't know what Microsoft is going to do. But let's move on. We ain't got to keep talking about that. And as far as Sea of Thieves, it just hasn't impressed me yet to want to buy it. And I would love to get on there and play with you guys, but are you really convinced by what they have showed you, Keith?
I mean, technically, I don't really know what the game is besides going around rooting for treasure. I don't know how tangible that is for my gaming likes. But I really don't know what it is. But I just figured it would be a good game for us all to play. Let's waste some money.
What about you, what about you, D2K? Has Rare with Sea of Thieves showed you enough to make you want to go drop some money on it?
It looks interesting. That's about all I can give it. It looks interesting.
Yay! Somebody.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm gonna say this: I'm not into that artistic design. I don't care about. I don't know. I just don't like the artistic flavor of the game. I don't know why. I hate that design choice. Not the cartoony aspect, because I like that. I'm talking about the literal way the characters look. Like, I don't know. And that's kind of what hurt me with Fable a lot of times, was I didn't like the artistic direction that they took it. And I don't know if y'all felt that way, but I feel they could have did the character models a little better than what they did.
I never played any Fable games, so I don't really know the difference.
Okay. What about you, Keith? I mean, I never played them. I'm just saying what I've seen of them. Like, I don't know. It always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, this is like watching wannabe Disney cartoon. You ever seen them? You watch a Disney movie, then you go on to Netflix and they got all those knockoff animations that you like, man, this looks horrible. And that's kind of how it looks to me compared to what other companies would have done with that type of a title. What I believe like a Sony would have done, or Nintendo would have done with that, or Ubisoft, not Ubisoft, but yeah, Ubisoft, or EA or somebody, or they would. To me, I don't like what Rare's. I don't like how it look. It ain't that the graphics. I'm talking about the literal way the characters are animated and designed. Just
the art style just doesn't jive.
Yeah, just cheap to me. the art style is cheap to me, man. It just looks horrible, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I can't rock with it. But anyway, so let's move on. This also happened. I want to get in. What was that? I don't know if y'all know much about the whole Final Fantasy 15, but supposedly, and this irks me. I'm gonna say why. So I guess it was IGN interviewed one of the guys at Square Enix or whatever, and the dude basically said we have something coming to a system that rhymes with the, I think it was Twitch. They was that with Twitch. In the course, he was alluding to the Switch and said, you know, to stay tuned. We have something planned for it. And then I guess in another interview, they were talking about the Final Fantasy portable or mobile game, and I guess the question was asked, will this, you know, possibly wind up on the Switch? And the guy said, yeah, it's possible. Not saying that it would, but he's saying it's possible. And of course, everybody running that this is the version that's going to come to the Switch versus the version that's on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like, I don't know how much familiar y'all are with this story, but D2K, what you think about this, man? Are we making too much of a deal out of this type of stuff?
Since I don't care about the Switch, I don't really care. But it's not really a big deal to me at all. I mean, you know, if any game at the Switch that they can get from a major third-party distributor, should be happy with that. You know, I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than not getting a Final Fantasy game at all.
Okay.
You know, that's what I would say. I mean, you know, at this point, people who are still getting angry because certain third-party games don't arrive on the Switch and you're going to ignore all the reasons why, I can't deal with those people. I mean, basically, they just want to believe what they want to believe, so I just let them. We already explained why certain games will never be on the Switch and why they can't be. Just accept what you can get and be happy with that. And if this company is even trying to put a game at all on the Switch, and if it sells well, then that can open the door for them to take chances later on with other titles that might be more graphically intensive. It might be worth it to them to actually scale the game down or to tweak it to the Switch's architecture, so that way it will run smoothly. It doesn't, even though it doesn't look as good as a PC and PlayStation or Xbox versions, it'll still look good. It'll still run smooth. But there has to be a financial incentive for these companies to do that. And right now there really isn't. That's the reason why the Switch gets scraps or it gets games that have been out for 5 or 6 years. So, you know, the fact, if they're even trying to hint that something could be coming to the Switch, if I was a Switch person, if I was a Nintendo fan, I would be excited. I wouldn't look at this as any negative whatsoever.
Well, I'm kind of on the first thing I agree with is it's better than not getting anything at all, but at the same time, it also is going to play into that stigma of, well, the Nintendo version is going to be the kiddie version, and you know, in a lot of cases that could be true. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the content is going to be the same. It's just that the chibi art style is what throwing people off. And I'm one of those people who's like, man, if you're going to bring the chibi art style, don't bring it off. You know, so I'm kind of 50-50. I don't like the fact that, you know, like you said, just scale it back, put it 720, try to get it to 30 frames a second and try to get it on there. If you can't get it on there, put in the chibi version on there is going to give this, like I said, this negative stigma that people are going to run with, and it could end up hurting the Switch more so than it would helping it. Just because you got a Final Fantasy game on there, I don't know, but I'll say this about the PC version, and I brought this to you guys in the chat. I don't know if you saw it, but the PC version is going to be over 170 gigs download. And I was going to get it until I saw how big it was. And I was like, nah. And then I was like, well, I can get it on the Switch and then might not play it at all. How about that, Square Enix? I might not get it at all.
I say I wasn't even gonna talk about this. I'm just pulling for stuff to talk about because it really ain't much to talk about. But what irked me about the whole situation wasn't really the announcement or Final Fantasy anything. It was how folks was responding to it. Like, to me, I noticed anytime a game is not announced for the Switch, people start acting like they have to complain or beg for the title. I'm like, look, man, everything is not going to come to the Switch right now. And we already know that. And if this game come or not, I don't really care. I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, so maybe I'm wrong because I don't have any relationship to the title. So maybe I don't have the right mindset to understand those who want this title. But I was hearing
you're not wrong.
Oh, I'm just saying, I can't speak for those who might be a fan of the series. But what irked me was I heard and I seen so many videos about which version was coming, and then literally heard folks was literally begging or port begging for the mobile version, begging for the play. It's like, man, like, would y'all just sit back and enjoy the fact that the system is doing good and just enjoy that? Do we constantly have to have these conversations about who ain't bringing what to what? And like, who cares? Right now, we getting a pretty consistent amount of games. Games that we didn't expect are showing up. They talking about the Switch. Seems like most developers are shocked by what the Switch is doing and seem to have some type of interest in it. Be satisfied with that. I even saw this video, and this is kind of transitioning to another topic with the fact that what is it? World. What's that game? It's It's big in Japan, huh?
Lego World.
Not Lego World. It's one of the big titles. It's XX on a Switch.
Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World. I couldn't get the bid. Like I saw a title is should the Nintendo fan base be offended or jaded that Monster Hunter World isn't coming to the Switch? And I'm like, why?
Like I just got through saying, you can't deal with people like that. People who have just completely shut their minds off from reality and truth and facts. You can't say anything. You just let them stay in the corner over there in their fanboy jamboree, and the rest of us can talk about what's actually happening. There's no way in hell that game is ever coming to the Switch in the form that it's in. Now, they might make a scaled down version at some point, maybe, but as it is right now, there's no way that the game will come to the Switch. And it's not them trying to be mean to Nintendo or mean to Nintendo fans. The game was not designed for that type of hardware. Period.
On the flip side, the way I see it, and like you said, D2K, it's not coming. And I'm not one of those people who's advocating for it to come, but the love that they're giving this game, the updated visuals is not a port of anything. It's a brand new game built from the ground up, and on top of that, it has voice acting. I don't think any of the Monster Hunters that's been on any Nintendo platform, from the 3DS to the Wii to the Wii U, and now this one have not had voice acting. And it's like, man, you giving them all the TLC. Oh, Level, was it you that said? No, I'm not gonna say that. But I don't think they've ever given any Nintendo title. And Nintendo's the company or the fan base has been keeping that series alive, because I think it pretty much kind of dwindled on the PlayStation 2. I think it did.
Well, when the 3DS started becoming the dominant, because that game is based on how sales go over in Japan. So because most of the time it don't even come to the States. And when the 3DS and the DS was moving units like it was moving, Capcom was going with the most dominant platform in the market. So that was the 3DS and DS to the 3DS, and that's where they was putting it at. So I think they took it from the PSP, had it, and then it moved from the PSP to the, I think the DS, then the 3DS. Now it's on the PlayStation 4 because right now the PlayStation 4 is mopping the floor with the competition. Let's just be real.
Well,
now,
it's
I
the
will
Xbox
say
One.
this, and I don't understand that, but anyway. So, but them basically the same system. So you don't have to do much to get, if it's gonna run on the PlayStation 4, it don't probably take much to get it to run on the Xbox One because it's basically the same system. But I will say this: they could have localized Monster Hunter XX on the Switch, in my opinion, to not localize it and make it Japan only. To me, I see a reason for folks to get mad at that.
That makes
not
sense.
Because the game is not coming, because Monster Hunter World is not coming to the Switch. I don't see no reason to get upset with that. And I'm not going to front. When I saw it, I was like, dang, that looks freaking good. But I played Monster Hunter, and I still don't understand. I don't get the joy, but maybe it's not for me to get it. But what I've seen of the revised version of Monster Hunter XX, I mean, you're still getting a good game, in my opinion. In some aspects, it might be some better aspects to it than the HD version, because I saw a lot of things going on in the HD version. It came off a little slower to me. I don't know, but I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan, so I don't know what I'm looking at many times to know what to call a plus and a minus. But I don't think that. I think Capcom is tripping by not localizing Monster Hunter XX for Europe and America. I think that's what we should be upset with.
Yeah.
Not Capcom not bringing the Monster Hunter World to the Switch. I don't see no point in that.
I agree with that. And to what Keith was saying earlier about the fact that Monster Hunter Worlds is getting more features than any of the games that are coming to the Switch or any of the games that have been on Nintendo consoles in the past. These might have been things that they wanted to do on Nintendo consoles in the past, but Nintendo didn't have the horses available for them to do it. And with the Switch, the same situation is there. You don't have a console that's powerful enough to run what their artistic vision sees. So you're not going to get all the bells and whistles because they can't do it on your console. And why should they put all that stuff on there if you're not going to work with them and give them some hardware that can fit their artistic ambitions? And I would say that Nintendo fans should look at Nintendo and say, why do we have to constantly go through this all the time? Why do developers feel the need to have to change things just so that we as Nintendo fans can play games from third parties on our console? Why can't they just drag and drop their game onto our Nintendo console like they do with everybody else? That question is not being asked. Instead, people are saying, why aren't you, third parties, working to make things better for us? That's the reason why things never change.
On the flip side, the home consoles, the Nintendo platforms, Wii U, and now the Switch, they've never had a Monster Hunter game built from the ground up. They've always been ports of the 3DS. The original one on the Wii was a port of the 3DS, and the HD one was on a port. So with that, it's kind of like they did drag and drop and didn't add anything else besides a bump in resolution. But these type of games, you got to play with people, because I had it and I was like, this is boring. I was so bored. And then when I did play with somebody,
that's when okay.
Yeah,
I was too. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you got to play with people, and even when I did play with somebody, I was playing with somebody, and what happened? They were so above me, and it was just like they were doing everything, and like I would just die instantly. Like we would go fight these monsters, and I would just die instantly, and I just couldn't get into it. I didn't want to put the time into it.
Now it's another game. Here it is, Secret of Mana. I
Oh
don't know
my
if y'all heard
goodness,
about
this one
this
right
game.
here. This one right here.
They cried over this too, and this is a Square Enix game that's I guess being remade, and the graphics and anything. If you see the graphics, you can know it can run on the Switch,
It's coming
but
to
it's
the
not coming to the Switch.
Vita.
Even though Secret of Mana was on the Super NES, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's in the Japanese eShop of the Switch.
Is it?
But it's not localized. I think so, but it's not localized, so you can't. so they crying about this game as well. It's like, look, man.
What were the sales of that game?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. But I just, like I said, and this goes to another thought. This is why I don't make videos, man. This is the main reason I don't, because it ain't nothing to talk about, and everybody talk about the same stuff, and it's always crying. It's like, dude, no. Anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It just goes. I mean, you look at a lot of these, channels that are dedicated to a specific brand. They're either crying about something that their company is not doing, but they're blaming somebody else for it, or they're overhyping something that they actually did do well, way beyond where it should be. So, there's nobody that's ever saying, being balanced and saying, okay, this is good, this is bad, we need to fix this, keep doing that. You don't get that from channels anymore. It's always about sensationalism. Who can come up with this, the big, headliner or something to draw clicks to their channel, and then once they get there, it's them just basically ranting over stuff. It's a mess. But I'm looking at Secret of Mana for the SNES and
1.83.
1.83 when the SNES and the Wii didn't do much, So I don't know. I mean, definitely, the history is with Nintendo, so you would think that it would put it on the Switch, and they should localize. There's really no reason not to localize this type of games. I don't know what they get out of not doing that. It doesn't make any sense financially to me.
And I think that's where the salt is coming from, the fact that it does seem like Capcom is intentionally shafting Nintendo at times. I agree with that, but still, even in that, it's Capcom. Who cares? What has Capcom done outside of the latest Resident Evil 7, which I think was probably most likely overhyped? But what have they done recently that anybody should praise? So I don't know. I think
I would be more angry about not getting bigger titles instead of getting these little rinky-dink run-tin can titles that came out 20, 30 years ago. If let's say that Resident Evil 7 was at a level that could run on the Switch, but it didn't get it. Or they came out with a Power Stone 3 that was on a level of the Switch, but it didn't get it. That's the type of stuff I would get angry about if I was a Nintendo fan. But stuff like this, like, just get your NES out and play that. You know what I'm saying?
I would go so far to say that maybe it can't run it all the bells and whistles that it's currently in, but it still wouldn't be a bad looking game. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can get to run pretty much equivalent to what we see on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, maybe minus a few textures here and there, but still, I don't think it's nothing we should be getting salty over. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but no, I agree. I agree with you, D2K. I agree.
I think that game would eventually come. Secret of Mana. I was actually looking forward to see if they had a PC version. They didn't. Well, official version.
Yeah. Air quotes.
Yeah.
So
I think it.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of these games that people have been crying about, I think they will eventually come. Games that I was crying about, I think will eventually come. But we just gotta have patience, and I guess it kind of stings in the beginning, especially like D2K said, games that have a history with Nintendo that don't come back to Nintendo. It's kind of like, what? Why would you do that? It's like if Nintendo went third party and they still had a console and they brought a Mario game to PlayStation before they brought it to the Nintendo console. Like, really? Why would you do that?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently satisfied for everything on the horizon, what's currently coming to the Switch this year, I'm satisfied. Next year is what I'm looking for. To this year's covered for me with the Switch. I think I got enough. Personally, I've gotten enough variety of games, even some third party in there with NBA 2K18 and WWE 2K18 and a few other. There's enough there for me to feel like with Odyssey on the horizon, and of course this week I might get the game. I've been watching a lot of footage of it. It looks fun. I still don't know if that's really my type of game, but I definitely will give it a try. And that's with Mario versus Mario and Rabbids. And so I feel like as a Switch owner, I got a good collection of games for a system that's only 6-7 months old. I mean, personally. So I do want Dragon Ball Z Fighters on that mug. I definitely want that.
Man, it's gonna be so fire.
Now that game, we gonna talk about that in a second. But and then I don't know if y'all saw, but this showed up at Gamescom. We're gonna try to talk Nintendo and then get to our main topic because I think everything else is pretty much exhausted. But I saw Skyrim running on the Switch. They had it off dock, and they was using the Joy-Cons. It looked pretty good, man. They saying it's the PC version. It's a remastering or revising of the PC version. That's what the rumor is. I don't know how true that is, but it definitely is not the 360 PlayStation 3 version. We can definitely put that to rest. And it's looking pretty decent.
Like I said, I wasn't interested in this game when it was $4.
I ain't saying I'm gonna get it. I'm just saying it don't look too bad.
There's no way in the world.
It's a 6-year-old game.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I'm not planning on getting it, but I don't plan on getting it. I won't say I won't, but I don't plan on it. What else? And this Mario versus Rabbids. Keith, are you truly interested in getting it? Are you going to get it?
Yeah. I mean, I've been looking at this game. I remember when they announced it and I saw the rabbits. I was like, oh, no, what are they going to do? This is going to be stupid. Then when they showed it, I was like, huh. Because I had been itching to play XCOM, but I just never bought XCOM. And I think they got some DLC for XCOM 2 that's coming out. But I always wanted to play it. And as hypocritical as this may sound, but the Mario portion of it makes me want to play this game. And it's the same type of style.
Why would I be hypocritical?
Because, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Mario praise that he shouldn't.
You're a Nintendo fan, aren't you?
I am a Nintendo fan.
Then you like XCOM, right?
That's the thing. I've always been interested in. I've been watching gameplay footage of it, but I didn't play the XCOM. I never bought it.
Well, I mean, the fact that it's something that you wanted to play and you're a Nintendo fan, that was the hook that brought you in. So that was smart by Ubisoft and Nintendo to make that partnership.
Yeah, I guess you can say it worked.
I don't think there's nothing to feel hypocritical about. I mean, it is Mario and Rabbids. Mario is the lead character, so it's catered to the Nintendo fan base and what we like. So I don't think there's anything wrong with liking it because Mario's in it, because I think that's the whole selling point. It's Mario in it. It doesn't seem like that's what Ubisoft making sure we know. Hey guys, Mario's in this game, so we.
I'll be honest. For me, it was kind of a disappointment. I'm thinking about a combo. Them doing something together. I'm thinking like Mario and Rayman. I mean, can you imagine a 2D Mario Rayman Legends type game would be off the page? But we didn't get that, so we're getting this. So if this game does well, then maybe they might want to visit that later on and say, okay, this is what they actually wanted in the first place. Let's get to work on that idea.
Okay. Has anybody played the new Uncharted game?
No.
The Lost Story, is that what it's called?
But I'll say this: I'm interested. Like I don't own a PlayStation 4, but
you don't? Okay.
I do not. But I've been thinking about getting one because I want to go back and play all those games. And then The Last of Us 2 is coming out, but I'm just like, do I really want to put all this money into this? I've already got a pretty beastly PC, and then I got the Switch, and I'm like, I don't want to add too much more, but I'm definitely interested. I've heard a lot of people say it's a lot better, has better pacing than the
Uncharted
regular
4.
Uncharted 4. Yeah. So
Crazy thing is, I didn't even know the game was out until I started seeing all these playthroughs of the game. I'm sitting there like, man, I didn't know this game was out already. And it's like, that's how I know that I'm satisfied with what I got at the moment, because I would normally be checking for a game like this heavily. And I wasn't. I wasn't checking for it. I've been splatooning every now and again, Tekken. I throw up, turn on my PlayStation 4 and play Tekken, but here lately I haven't been playing no PlayStation nor Xbox. It's just been a Switch. But splatooning and Mario, I mean not Mario, but Sonic Mania and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mark of the Wolves. That's what I've been on, man. And but I think I'm gonna have to go out and cop this game. I don't know. I'm torn on what I want to get, because I'm balling on the budget right now, so it ain't too much more I'm be getting. Because I still got to get stuff down the road, and I ain't trying to have a wife at my throat. We got daycare bills and stuff like that to be paying. There ain't time for no video games. So
exactly.
yeah, man, Lost Legacy is out, and I'm curious how it plays. See, that's why K-Bum be leaving us hanging. He ain't played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I guarantee he ain't gonna play this one for a while. So I'm gonna have to go get it. I'm gonna have to get it. That's the only way we gonna know. Anyway, shout out to K-Bum 20. But anyway, so let's get to the main topic, man. This came to me. I was sitting at the house. I had just bought Sonic Mania, and I was looking through the eShop, and I saw a game that I had never seen before in the eShop called Mark of Wolves. And I saw a familiar character. What's the one that got that's from Fatal Fury? D2K. Terry something.
Terry Bogard.
Yeah, Terry was in the game. I saw him in the game in some of the highlights of the game, and I saw a couple of other familiar characters in the game. So I was like, let me check this out. So I downloaded the game. Of course, I got other games that's made by SNK, and King of Fighters, and I think they make Art of Fighting too.
Yep.
Art of Fighting and King of Fighters and Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown. What's another one? They didn't make World Fighters, right? World Champions. I don't think they made that game. That was Neo Geo. I think that was a Neo Geo. I don't know who made that. I don't think that's SNK. So I was sitting there like, so I'm playing the game, man. Thing. I know it's Neo Geo, but I'm talking about who actually made it. Like who actually made World Heroes.
What was the name of the game?
World
Heroes.
That's them.
Or World Champions.
It's World Heroes.
Is that SNK too?
Yeah. I got
That's SNK.
I got pulled up.
All right, cool. I didn't think SNK made that, but maybe they did. Okay.
There's an endless list of 2D fighters gems that are out there for Neo Geo. But go ahead, continue.
Okay, so I'm sitting here playing the game, man. And if it wasn't for the graphics, if this game got a overhaul or a reskin like Ultra Street Fighters on the Switch got, this game would thrash that Street Fighters game. Literally thrash it. If it got the skin, the HD makeover that game has. The game is fluid. The game is tight. The moves is dope. The last boss is dope. The characters are interesting. All the characters are interesting. And it kind of had a I said this earlier, it kind of had a Tekken-ish touch to it, to where the moves just wasn't as simple as Hadouken, back roundhouse, or with a person like Blanca, hold back, let it go forward. It had chain moves to it where you had to know how to do it. And I was sitting back and I was thinking, man, I know that Capcom has long held the I guess the championship belt as the king of 2D fighters. But I'm wondering, did SNK do 2D fighters better than Capcom? And so I thought this would be an interesting topic for tonight. What do you think? Like, was Street Fighters the end all of end all, or were there fighting games from SNK that were better than Street Fighter? Maybe not as popular, but better. D2K or Keith, whoever want to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
It's really hard to say because there have been so many different iterations and so many different fighting game series in both SNK and Capcom that have completely different fighting systems. And it's really hard to say which was better or worse, or who did it better or who didn't. I would say that probably the pinnacle of fighting game mechanics of a 2D game, period, was the Street Fighter Third Strike. There are some games, however, from SNK that give it a run for its money. One of those games is a game that I've talked about in the past, which is a very slept-on game that nobody talks about. It's a game called Martial Masters that came out around 99, 2000, somewhere in that time frame, which has got the same type of fluid, technical fighting style that Street Fighter Third Strike has. I mean, there's just so many games. There's the Breaker's Revenge. There's the Last Blade. There's so many fighting games that SNK had that just were unbelievable. With Capcom, it's mostly been Street Fighter and branches out from that, universe. It hasn't been a lot of different fighting games. It's been Street Fighter, blah blah blah. Street Fighter.
Now, would you
Street Fighter? What's that?
Would you consider the Marvel Universe games like the Marvel versus Capcom, and then I guess the Marvel game standalones that were made by Capcom? Would you include those into Capcom's portfolio?
Yeah, well, I mean, the crossover games are still Capcom games, so except for SNK versus Capcom, because they both did versions of their own using their own engines. Okay. But I would say that Capcom. I would say that you have Street Fighter, you have Power Stone, and then you have the crossover games. I mean, I might be forgetting something, but that's pretty much it. With SNK, you've got Fatal Fury, you got Samurai Showdown, you got Art of Fighting, you got Martial Masters, you got The Last Blade, you got Breaker's Revenge, you got King of the Fighters. There's a lot of different fighting series within SNK that are completely different from each other, and there's a whole bunch that I'm forgetting about that there's some that I probably don't even know about. But it's really hard to compare the two. I mean, I guess it really depends on your taste. I think that it was kind of interesting. I like Capcom versus SNK 2. To me, had the second best fighting engine of any Capcom game, because that game felt extremely tight, very responsive. The game itself had a very nice appeal and presentation. You really felt like you were in the battle and you were in the action. And they did a very good job of blending the SNK characters into that Capcom fighting style. It didn't feel like they were out of place. Everybody felt like they belonged there. I can't say about SNK versus Capcom Chaos. That was kind of weird. But, yeah. But maybe that's the thing that tips the scales in favor of Capcom, is that, when they did a crossover between the two, their version was better than SNK's version was.
Would you say? And let me let Keith in here first before I ask this question. Go ahead, Keith.
Okay. What? I don't think I'm the best qualified person to actually get into this topic. Now, I am old enough to remember the glory days of I wouldn't say the glory days, but the arcades, and I would always go in and I would see the SNK games, and like D2K was saying, there's so many games that you probably wouldn't even know that was them. And I think that's the one advantage that they had, but it's also probably one of their biggest downfalls, is that they didn't stick to just one franchise and just I don't want to use the word milk, but that's pretty much what Capcom did, and they gained the popularity. Um, but I remember, enjoying the SNK games because they were different. Because Capcom, not Capcom, but Street Fighter was so popular. Um, but I guess I don't know. I can't really say who was better because I never really just took the time to just play fighters like that. I always dilly dally with different things. I think the only two games that I really took serious was Soul Calibur 2 and Street Fighter's not Street Fighter, Killer Instinct Gold. But I always just played Street Fighter casually, and I always played like the SNK, like was it King of Fighters, those type of games. I always played them casually. So I would have to say Capcom did it better only because they made their characters, they put them in your face more. And SNK was mainly like arcade based, even though Street Fighter was in the arcade, but you primarily saw the SNK games in the arcades more so than you saw them in the on their home consoles, I think. But that's it.
Well,
before you start, I would say that one of the reasons why that the SNK games didn't get over is because of the expense of the Neo Geo system. Each game for Neo Geo was basically an arcade board that you were putting into a console. That's pretty much what you were doing, and these things were costing like $200 a piece. So that scared everybody away from playing a lot of games that were on the Neo Geo. It got a little better when they came up with the Neo Geo CD, but people were like, yeah. And plus, it was imported. It was over in Japan. It wasn't like localized here in the United States. So that's one of the reasons why people missed out on a lot of stuff until later on when you start to see games on like the Dreamcast and stuff like that.
Okay. I was going to say one thing I would say, while SNK characters, I would say SNK always was treated like the stepchild, the wannabe Capcom. I think that stigma kind of was laced to them. Also, what D2K just said, the fact that they was mostly on the Neo Geo platform and we couldn't afford Neo Geo, so only time we played an SNK game was at the arcade. And I would say, honestly, back in the day, I remember walking the arcade and some of them games would pull me from Street Fighters, but Street Fighters had such a lore, especially Street Fighters 2, that it was Street Fighters. So just the brand itself would warrant more respect than the SNK offerings. But the King of Fighters and then the Art of Fightings and all the other games that like the Fatal Furies, which end up turning into like King of Fighters, where they brought a lot of them characters into one game and made a game out of it. I would say them characters always, to me, had more style. Like SNK games always had more style than Capcom Street Fighter. The characters had more style, more spunk. But I would say my favorite fighting game, just technically fighting game of all time, is Street Fighter's Third Strike. The Street Fighter 3 series, Third Strike being the one I like the most. But at the same time, King of Fighters, especially, I want to say the one that they released, it was right before, it was like back in 2009, 2008, wasn't no shabby offer, man. It was a dope game, and the fight mechanics was tight. It literally could have gave Capcom a run for their money had to, like you said, Keith, the familiarity was there with the characters and the brand. Like, I think in Japan, this conversation might be different, but being in the States and not having as a dominant present as Capcom did with Street Fighters, because we had Capcom and Mortal Kombat and then Tekken and then Virtua Fighter, SNK kind of was off to the side, so to speak. But some of these games, like D2K said, man, technically from just a fundamental control aspect, gameplay aspect, did rival in some kind of ways beat Capcom at their own game. I don't know how you feel about that, D2K, but that's how I feel. Like some of these games were better than Capcom. Well, maybe not Third Strike, but some of the other stuff was.
Most definitely. There was some SNK games that are better than some of the Capcom games. I mean, it depends on. I mean, a lot of these games had really smooth mechanics, and a lot of them were very set up very differently. A game like Samurai Showdown first of all, it has a very specific style. It's not a whole lot of movement. Everything is very deliberate. It's pretty much like how an actual samurai fight would be, because samurai are trained to every movement is going for a kill shot. We're not trying to play games. We're trying to kill you and end you with one shot. So that's reason why Samurai Showdown is the way it is, and why their suit moves are so powerful. You get hit with one shot, you like 2/3 of your energy is gone. So it's, but the technical aspect of it, it was more mental than it was muscle memory. You had to time what you were doing. You had to predict what your opponent was going to do, or try to predict what they were doing. You had to. It was like almost playing chess than a fighting game, more so than anything else, and where you just button mash and just kind of BS your way to a victory somehow. So it was a lot of games like that for Capcom or from SNK that just kind of stood out. And I think that, it wasn't until Power Stone where Capcom kind of broke out of their shell and went and did something different with basically a 3D brawler arena type game, which I don't know why they haven't made another one. But I guess it makes too much sense. So, but they did that well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Capcom, like Keith said, stayed true to their formula. Like, they just kept perfecting the formula that was Street Fighter. They kept perfecting it, adding moves. Like, I remember when they added the parry. Of course, this is Street Fighter 3, when they added the ability to parry, kind of started to change up Ryu and Ken a little bit, so they just wasn't a copy character of each other, where Ryu went faster, more flashy, more cocky fighting. Where Ken went more flashy, more cocky speed, where Ryu went more power, more discipline, and it started to reflect in the character style. So there is a difference now between the Ryu and the Ken, and then Akuma is changed a little. He's different from them, even though they have the core same foundation. It ain't all the same. So Capcom, go ahead.
I want to say something, and this is just something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time. And I don't know how much truth there is to this, but it seems like Capcom, in at least 2 of their major franchises, have borrowed a lot from Dragon Ball in terms of characters. Because when you look at Ken and Ryu, it's almost like looking at Vegeta and Goku. Vegeta would be Ryu, being the more technical, the more serious about a fighter who's training. His whole life is devoted to training and getting better. But then you have Ken, who's like Goku, who does train, but it's more natural gifted ability that he has than what Ryu has. Ryu he works hard to get to what Ken has naturally. But then you jump over from Mega Man. Mega Man, you have Dr. Light is basically Dr. Breeze. Dr. Wily is basically Dr. Gero. So like, there's a lot of things I'm like, that's a little too close for comfort there. But I just wanted to throw that out.
Okay. Figure this out.
I never made the comparison. But I will say, I always felt like, Ken is, to me, Ken. Like, I do like how they started to play into who Ken is and making Ken who he is. Because to me now, I fight more with Ken than I do Ryu. Ken just he American. You know what I'm saying? He cocky, he confident, he flashy, he got swag, he showboaty, and I love it. And his moves reflect his character. Whereas Ryu, he's solid. His moves stiff and hard, and when he hits you, he ain't finna do a whole bunch of moves with it, but you finna fly across the screen. And that's, I like that about how Capcom has worked their characters into developing them. You saw their progression, so to speak, like Dazum. How like he looked, I don't know if you played Street Fighter 5, but Dazum looks totally different. How he fight is a progression of what you played back in the day to what you see now. And I can't say we followed the SNK characters enough to see their growth. I don't know if they any different from back in the day to today. So, but you're right though, Keith. I would say, D2K, I would say Capcom borrowed some elements from SNK. Like when I look at some of these characters and some of their moves, and then I start looking at future characters that started showing up in Street Fighters, I would say they stole them characters from SNK. Like
I would. Well, I don't know if this is another urban legend type thing, but from what I heard is that the original creators of Street Fighter, one of the guys broke off and went to go work for SNK, and okay. I guess he originally designed, Ken and Ryu, which is the reason why when he went to SNK, he created Robert Garcia and Ryo. Robert Garcia is supposed to be more or less like the Ryu character, and Ryo is like the Ken character. And then that's the reason why you have Dan, because Dan is basically a parody of a Robert Garcia.
Right.
So it's more like a friendly rivalry type thing between the.
There's some other characters in SNK titles. I can't say these guys' names, but they got like Harain from Tekken. They kind of got his style. Is that his name, Harain? The one that does all the kicking. Like his style is mostly all kicks, and he can flip it up. I think that's his name. Huh?
Is he Jamaican? The Jamaican guy?
No, he's not Jamaican. I think that's his. If K-Bun was here, he'd know who I'm talking about. I don't know these guys. I can't say
I didn't hear what you were saying.
Was it Harain? Is that his name, Harain, or something like that in Tekken? In the Tekken series.
How wrong? That's how you pronounce it. How wrong?
I thought it was Harain or something, but I'm saying it wrong. He got a rivalry with Jin. That's all I know. Is he fights Jin a lot. If that's his name. If that's the dude I'm talking about.
Oh, it's about Jin Kasama?
Yeah, the dude that I'm talking about fights Jin a lot. He always trying to fight Jin.
Yeah, I would say that if there were going to be a comparison there, I would say that Kazuya Mishima and Paul Phoenix, they mirror Ken and Ryu more.
No, I'm not talking about mirroring Ken and Ryu. I'm saying SNK has characters that mirrors that guy that I'm talking about in Tekken. They got characters that move just like him.
Oh, well, there's Kim. I think he's from Fatal.
Yeah, Kim is one.
Yeah. I mean that's to me, him and How Wrong are pretty much identical.
How Wrong, that's how I saw it. So it's How Wrong, not Harang. I'm tripping. Okay. I used to say Hachi's name wrong. So, but anyway, what I was getting at is SNK has characters that move fluent just like some of the characters in Tekken, and I've noticed, and in Street Fighters, you starting to see characters that kind of borrow from those elements that they didn't have back in the day. Like, they had Blanca and what's the dude name? Vega and other characters that they didn't have any characters that fought like this, but I'm starting to see like the African girl fights like old boy in Tekken now with the type of fight style he has. What's his name? The dude in Tekken, the Jamaican guy in Tekken.
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie. Yeah.
The African girl in Street Fighters fight like him. Now, but you wouldn't have saw that back in the day. So I'm starting to see Capcom starting to borrow a lot of character styles from other games where they didn't have those styles in their game at first. I'm starting to see that too. Especially, we saw this first introduced in Third Strike. And then Third Strike had a character that was just like SNK. The little punk rock dude. He was weird. He was kind of gothic. I don't know his name. I can't remember his name. But he kind of had like a Gambit type of style. He remind you of a Gambit in X-Men or something like that, but he was in Street Fighter's Third Strike. I don't know if you remember him.
I know who you're talking about. I think his name is Remy.
Yeah, there he is. That's an SNK.
Wait a minute, because that's his name in X-Men. That can't be him. I know there's a Remy character. I know there's a Remy character on Third Strike, but I don't know if that's the same guy you're talking about.
I'm finna look it up. I'm finna look him up right now. I want to make sure I get his name right.
Did y'all know that King of Fighters is still a thing? It was one that came out last year.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's moved into the 3D arena now, so it's not the 2D sprites anymore, which is long overdue. I don't think it still has it. I guess it does still kind of have the same charm. It does still play like a 2D fighter. It just kind of seems weird playing it in 3D or 3D models instead of sprites.
You got Elena. What's his name? Where is this dude? This is not all the characters. Okay, hold up.
I just got through playing that game not too long ago. That's one of the games I did play, actually. So,
man, I had that game, and one of my little nephews or whoever came over here and stole it out of my case. I still got the case, but they took the game. Yeah, man. I used to do deadly dirt with Alex. That's what makes me mad about the new Street Fighter. They messed Alex up. They didn't do Alex right in Street Fighter 5, in my opinion.
They didn't do Street Fighter 5 right.
Yeah, well, that's true. You're right on that. Hugo, they instead of putting in what's his name, they put in it's a girl's name,
Abigail. I mean, why not put? I mean, who is this? I mean,
they should have put Hugo in there, man. I thought that was stupid. Ori, how you say his name?
Oro, guy with one arm.
Yeah, how you say his name?
I just say
it is Remy. How you say it?
Remy. I don't know how to get away with that.
It's Remy. The character name is Remy, but he's basically a SNK character. If you ever play with him, he will put you in the mind of somebody from an SNK universe. He doesn't play nothing like anybody in Street Fighter.
There's a guy, I forgot his name. Ben something or other. He fights with his hands in his pockets. He kind of reminds me of that character.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And you talking about he from the SNK universe?
Yeah.
The same design, the same belt straps, all that it's like, dude, y'all basically just ripped this dude from an SNK game and put him in Street Fighters. But, I mean, Third Strike, Urain, oh my God, man. I just love this game. Anyway, I'm just reminiscing because that's, to me, if Nintendo, to me, I think Nintendo should go after, try to get Capcom or somebody should try to get Capcom to do an HD remake of that game, Street Fighter's Third Strike. That'll sell like crazy. That'll sell out.
You know,
that will hurt feelings.
Nintendo fans only want two.
What'd you say?
You know, Nintendo fans only want Street Fighter 2, so good luck with that.
I'm not saying just Nintendo. I'm saying period. Like, if you're gonna request something, I think the industry should request a HD remake of Third Strike. Like,
it's long overdue.
It's long. You're right. Like, why would you do Street Fighter's Turbo over, and you know Third Strike is the beloved, cherished version in the series? Like, there's no fighting game that would dethrone Third Strike. But because the game is just solid all the way around, like the parrying, the mechanics, everything about that game was dope.
Even the animations in there, because that was I don't know if I guess Tekken 3 came out before Third Strike, but that was the first time that I'd ever seen a character using capoeira in a fighting game, and the way that Elena would move from side to side. That was something I'd never seen in the fighting game before. I'm like, this animation is incredible.
I want to say Tekken did it first, I want to say that, but you bring up because I don't know. I know Third Strike didn't come to America for a while, so maybe it was already there before Tekken. I'm not for sure. I had to look that up. We had to look up the dates of when both characters came to, because that's what I'm talking about. Elena didn't fight. That was a new style for Street Fighters. Dudley was, oh my God. My brother with Dudley, harsh. But anyway, and I used to love how Alex and Hugo would do the whole Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan stand down and oh my God. Man.
Well, they were both the same year. They were both in 1997. I guess Street Fighter 3 came out a month before Tekken 3.
Well, then that answers your question because Tekken 3 was the introduction to Eddie Gordo. So
yeah,
I would guess they came out at the same time. I guess you could say neither one copied each other. They just happened to have the same ideal, I guess.
I'm trying to figure out when did the movie Only the Strong came out, because that's kind of where people got the idea of bringing that into fighting games, because that's kind of what made capoeira popular. Because that movie was like, people had never really seen it in fighting movies before, and that movie kind of like introduced it to people. Like, wow, this is interesting. This is cool. That came out in 1993, so that was like 4 years earlier. So they had already seen that and said, we need to put this in one of our characters. And I'm pretty sure they were developing both games, at the same time.
Yeah. If they do bring this game back, we just got off. I guess that proves who won, because we stuck on third strike. If they do bring this game back, I would ask that they drop Necro and bring back Blanca and Dazim. Dazim, that's how you say his name. Dazim. Okay, bring them two back, because basically Necro was basically a merger of both characters. I think they need to just bring Blanca back and Dazim back and drop Necro, because I never liked him. He never fit. Another character I think they could drop out of here was who was it? Let me look through this list again. Was it Zero? 12. 12 was a stupid character too to me. Like I didn't.
Yeah, that shape-shifting guy.
Yeah,
I didn't like
12
that.
was dumb, but everybody else can come back. So drop them two, bring back Blanca, bring back Dazim, and bring back Sagat, man. Stop dropping Sagat out. We need to. Oh my God, why is I don't want to talk about it. Why Sagat ain't in the new Street Fighters? Why is Sagat not in Street Fighters?
Well, if they're still adding characters, he might show up eventually.
But he should have. Sagat to me is a staple character that you should not have in Street Fighters. That's Ryu's main, well, not main rival. Well, it was for a second. Now him and Ken are main rivals, but you can't replace Sagat. It's no one that replaces Sagat to me.
No. I mean, they tried with other characters like Adon, some other characters that use that Muay Thai fighting style, but it's just not the same.
Adon was never. He wasn't Sagat, but I think he was more Muay. Well, no, he wasn't even more Muay Thai than Sagat, because all he did was jump off walls and stuff. I don't know what he really was doing that was Muay Thai. So, but yeah, man, I think this is a game they need to bring back. Definitely bring this.
But you know what? One thing I would say that maybe this just kind of wraps it up for Capcom and just kind of gives them the victory is that when we think of fighting games, when we talk about moves, no matter what fighting game it is, if you say to somebody, do a fireball motion,
you're right.
Do a dragon punch, do a yoga flame, they already know what you're talking about. And these are moves that were made famous by Street Fighter.
Dragon Ball.
Do a sci-fi fluke. Yeah, we know all that.
We don't say press down, forward. We don't say do half circle. I mean, some people do that, but if you're just hanging out with your fellows, whatever, you just say, oh, do a dragon punch, or do a yoga flame, or reverse yoga flame. They know what you're talking about.
We used to say we said do a Hadouken, a Hayuken, we knew what you meant if you said that. Or we say do a Blanca roll, or in E Honda, you knew what that was too. Now the only person I never could really do they moves was Zangief. Zangief.
Or Blue.
I can't do
like
none of his moves.
Can't spin around.
I can't do none of his moves.
I had the same problem with T-Hawk. I would just try to do that Stormhammer move, and it's like I could never catch it just right. And then when I did catch it, it was like by accident. But that move is beastly when you do get a hold of it.
Yeah, man.
Like, man.
Yeah, he basically king before king, man, because all his moves changed to other moves, and
I hate King.
I was watching.
I hate King.
Yeah, I like King. I'm a big fan of King.
I hate King with everything I got. You want to know why? Because
why is that?
My friend Dale, he was working for Software Etc. at the time, and I went down there, and we were playing Tekken. Probably should have been working, but we were playing Tekken, and he got a phone call. So he said, "Hold on, I gotta take this phone call." Now we're still playing. He's not even looking at the screen. He gets King. He grabs me. The match is over because it's just. It just kept doing move after move after move. I'm like, he's not even looking at the screen.
Yeah, I got a friend. I got a friend named D. We call him D. Rick. His real name is Dedrick, but we call him D. Rick. And if he get King or anybody, Jack, King, you ain't gonna win. Like, he can do the moves without looking at you or the screen. He can look away from the screen, close his eyes, and still he gonna beat you. With you trying your hardest, if he grabs you, he can basically take most of your life in one chain move session. And it's I ain't that good with Tekken like that, man. I seen cats that at that level. I ain't there with it like that. But and he good like that in Street Fighters, but he ain't want to see me. He want to see me. Just like K-Bum don't want to see me in Street Fighter. He always want to play Tekken. He don't want to see me in Street Fighters at all. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, I guess I would lean towards. I guess I would give it to Capcom strictly off of what Keith said. The fact that Capcom stuck with that one game and seemingly perfected that formula, whereas SNK, while having a whole bunch of good to great games, never had one solid game that matched what Capcom did with Street Fighters. So I guess we do have to give it to Capcom, if you think about it, because we don't even talk about any SNK games today that they make currently. I mean, what game do we talk about that they make currently?
House King of Fighters. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We know about it, but ain't nobody talking about, man, I got to go get that King of Fighter. But we fuss about Street Fighters 5 and what Capcom didn't do more than what we praise about what SNK did do with any other entries. We don't even know. And they still do actual drawn animation on some of those games. They still drawing them characters, paying homage to the old school, whereas Capcom, since Street Fighters 4, but now
SNK's in the 3D now.
Yeah, they are. I'm talking about for a few of those entries, they was hand drawn. I think the latest two or three has been like Capcom, but I played one on the PlayStation 3, and I'm sorry, it just didn't control. It didn't control like Capcom's games at all. It was kind of stiff and I don't know. But yeah, I guess I had to go with Capcom. Who would you go with, Keith, if you had to choose one?
Capcom.
D2K.
Capcom.
Okay, well, so that answers it. So anyway, any other topics y'all want to talk about before we get out of here, or is that it?
Hey, have you ever played Guilty Gear?
Oh yes,
I was just going to bring that up. Yes, I have. But do you
Gear.
count Guilty Gear in with these?
Well, we're talking about when bringing the Arc Systems games, and that's a whole other conversation. That's just BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, and now Dragon Ball Fighters, which is despicable.
Man, look, right now, DBZ Fighters is looking like probably one of the best 2D fighting games of all time, man. If it play like it look, forget about some Street Fighters.
Forget about any fighting game for a long time. This is what we've been waiting for. I mean, there have been a couple of SNES Japanese import Dragon Ball games that fought like this, but and those are usually the characters that you see get ripped and put in Mugen. But this is what we've been. This game to me kind of feels like Mugen. It kind of feels like that. It's so over the top. Everything. It's a perfectly done transition for a Dragon Ball Z cartoon into a fighting game. Everything that you would want is there. The animation, the characters looks exactly 100% anime correct. Everything looks fluid. I mean, I was worried that it might be kind of stiff, but it looks fluid. There's some people that are complaining that some of the combos are repetitive. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't.
What is Street Fighters? Exactly. You don't even have to use the middle and low kick if you don't want to. I don't. I'm strong kicking you and punch you the whole way through the game. I ain't worried about no. So no, I mean, no, man, get off of that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what makes me not want to make videos, man. Little knick-knack, paddywhack, cry dog a bone type stuff like that. But no, the game just looks amazing, and it looks ridiculous, dude.
I would say that even though I'm not a Nintendo fan, it would be a shame for this game not to be on the Switch. It really would.
I think it's coming. I just think they ain't gonna talk about it right now, but I think it's gonna come. Eventually.
Well, I mean, I understand why they wouldn't, because you want people to buy Xenoverse too. People know that this game is coming, and people.
I'm not buying. After seeing that game, I ain't buying Xenoverse 2. I'm waiting on that. I don't care if I gotta play it on the PlayStation 4, then that's where I'm be playing it. I'm not buying Xenoverse. I don't want to play it now. I don't want that.
See? That's exactly why they won't say it. They want to make sure they can make as much money as they can, and then say, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is coming too."
Yeah, I ain't, man. No. After I saw that fighting game, I was like, if I was gonna buy a Xenoverse, and I was gonna get it. Nah, not now. That's the game I want.
It's definitely worth getting. I mean, it's not like the game is foul all of a sudden just because
I'm not saying that.
Fighters is fire, but it's definitely worth getting. You can get Xenoverse 2 when it comes out, get it. I definitely recommend getting it for the Switch.
No, I played it. I like Xenoverse, but that game, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, is the Dragon Ball Z game I wanted since the one that I saw back, I think on either the Super NES or the PlayStation 1, one of the two. I don't remember what that Dragon Ball Z game was called. It might have been Fusion or something like that. But
yeah,
that's
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the type of. What'd you say, Keith?
I want to ask y'all a question about what y'all think about Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Do you think they should go through all the sagas and put like the Saiyan saga for Goku? Like, do we really need all that again? Or are we just really gonna play with Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan Blue? I'm just curious because I feel like that'd be taking up a lot of space, is adding all those different variants. Now I do want Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, but I don't know.
I think that I think that the base Goku can transform all the way up until Super Saiyan 3.
Blue.
And then
No,
Blue is that's a whole nother character.
You think?
Oh, Blue is. I thought he was powering up to Blue.
No, well,
so they making Goku Blue another character in the city. Okay,
that's what it looks like to me. They're separating the other Goku from the Blue version. Maybe not. I mean, to me, it would make more sense if they would transition all the way through to Blue, but maybe they can't do it that way. I mean, it's for memory constraints or something like that. They have to make a different character altogether. But, I mean, if he's going to be Blue all the time, that would be kind of lame, Yeah,
I thought they were saying that he would be able to scale up, because we saw Frieza go to Golden Frieza. Remember, in the thing, Frieza Super, he goes to Golden Frieza. So I don't understand why they would make a separate Goku to do the Blue when Frieza from his base form, Frieza, goes up to Golden Frieza form. So I would think that they would do the same thing for Goku, making it where he can, if you know the technique or know how to do the move, he can go from that base form to blue. But I mean, it does kind of show how convoluted some of these forms are with the Saiyans, like Goku, Super Saiyan God, Red, Goku, Super Saiyan God, Blue, Goku, Super Saiyan 3, Goku, Super Saiyan 2, Goku, Super Saiyan, stronger than the Super Saiyan. It's too many. It's too many forms. So I don't know. But
Carolina is by the time this game comes from Nation Bullet, man. You know?
Yeah. But I'm definitely that's the game I'm looking for most right now. That's my most anticipated game for the first quarter of 2018. I'm not looking for nothing else but that game, and that's the type of game I'll be playing all the time. But so I'm hoping it do come to the Switch. But it did lose a sale of Xenoverse for me. I was gonna get Xeno 9. I don't want. I'm good.
So you heard the chances of it coming to the Switch, then.
Hey, well, if I like I said, I ain't the Switch don't supply all my needs. I got a PlayStation 4, the Xbox One. I'm gonna get the game regardless. So Namco gonna get my dollars either way it go. If I got a double dip just to have it on the Switch, I will. But for right now, it's getting got in February. So I ain't even worried about it, man. If that announces for the Switch, I get it somewhere down the road when it come out. But I'm definitely getting it in February.
So you're gonna sabotage your fellow Nintendo fans just so you can have fun.
Hey, they get over it, man. They weren't finna buy no Xenoverse anyway, so anybody's not no Xenoverse. They all already played Xenoverse on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. They ain't buying no Xenoverse for the Switch. That's why ain't nobody talking about it. You ain't even heard Namco talk about that game. We ain't seen a picture of it, ain't seen an announcement for it since they first announced it.
Well, I mean, it's possible. I mean, they still could add new things to it and give you a reason, or maybe they can incorporate the Joy-Con controls into the game somewhat, so the game plays a lot like the Budokai Tenkaichi games for the Wii. And that could be a reason why you would get Xenoverse 2 for the Switch, because I can actually play it differently than on the PlayStation.
This is what they need to do. Cool. This is what Namco needs to do. They need to say, you know what, guys, we just gonna give y'all Street Fighters, not Street Fighters, but Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Sometime next year, we just gonna cancel this game. We see that y'all want that game more than this one. That's what we're going to give you. That's what I would do. I just scrap the game, to be honest with you. I don't think they put much money into it. The game is old. The game has already lived its life. To me, they just need to focus on, and I don't get this, because the game, and this makes no sense to me. You got this game in development, right? You got this game in development. It's made with and you said it would have no problem running on the Switch, which, if you look at the game, it's no way it couldn't run on the Switch. Why even waste your time with Xenoverse when you're working on this game? Why? What's the point? You knew once you showed it at E3, nobody was going to be thinking about Xenoverse, and nobody is. So it's no point. It was stupid. That's stupid on their part. That's dumb, man. So, but anyway, Guilty Gear, going back to what you said earlier, Keith, I played Guilty Gear, but not enough of those series to kind of know how I feel about them. Are they good?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Very difficult, though. Some of the bosses. I remember, I think it was I don't know if it was for the Dreamcast version. I think it was for the Xbox, the regular Xbox. I played Guilty Gear XX. And the boss on the game is one of the playable characters. Ino, this chick with a red suit and a guitar. When you play as her, she's nowhere near as powerful as she is as a boss. I remember it was 10:30 when I started fighting her. When I finally defeated her, it was 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's he's right, because I had that same game on the Wii, and I'm playing her, and they give her like multiple lives, so you can start chipping away at it. And you thinking that you got her, but she comes back with another life or whatever. And he's right, man. Like, I'm playing through the game, and you know how you have to work your way up to the top. And I'm playing her, and I'm like, this game didn't prepare me for this fight.
That's true.
I'm like, I've been playing people, you know, I lost a few, but then it's like you can beat them, but then you get to her, it's like, no, I wasn't ready for this. So I'm switching characters that I thought I can play with, but yeah, it's a good game though.
I mean, now that I go back and look at it, I know that there's actual patterns that you can use, and it's easy to read. But at the time, you didn't know what those patterns were. You just had to go out there, you know, dry run and get your butt handed to you several times for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about Mark of Wolves, man. Like, I can't beat the boss. This game is hard, dude. It's not like you said something earlier, D2K, that made me kind of explain what I was missing. It is a lot about timing in this game. Like, you literally got to time how to block, how to counter. You just can't block their moves. You got to counter their moves sometimes. And I just suck. Like, I got to him, but he ain't show me no mercy. Even on, I was fighting at the regular level 4. It goes up to 8 or 9. I was at level 4, couldn't even get to him. Went down to like 3 and 2, got to him, couldn't do nothing with him. And I'm like, man, you know, I'm done. But the game is dope. But I couldn't do nothing with that last boss, man. I couldn't do anything with him. So whereas in Street Fighters, I'll go through a Seth or a Guile or M. Bison. I go through them on the hardest level, just go through them. So it's definitely a different approach that you had to go. But I'm gonna have to check out those Guilty Gears. I played one, but like I said, it was a demo, and I never really played enough to want to buy it. So, but listen to y'all. I hope they would bring something like that to the Switch or somewhere I can download it and check it out. I'm into 2D fighters, man.
I think it's on.
But anyway, PS4. Man, I think we untalked enough. What'd you say?
I was gonna say I think it's on the PS4. I think
I ain't buying that for the Nah, I ain't gonna go through the shop to buy because I ain't gonna turn it on enough, man. I kind of feel bad that I don't turn this PlayStation 4 on. I don't even watch movies on it no more. That's the crazy thing about it. I don't even watch. I got a Blu-ray player upstairs, and it's upstairs. My PlayStation 4 is not seeing the light of day. It hasn't seen anything since me and K-Bun played that Tekken that we live streamed. I haven't turned it on since then. And my Xbox One, if it wasn't for my son, because it's basically his system, it wouldn't get turned on either. I don't know. It's just, I guess that's a topic we need to bring up. It ain't no games that's interesting me right now on neither one of them platforms. Except Lost Legacy, that's interesting me. And then that Dragon Ball Fighter, I'm looking forward to that too. But I might, Keith, if it's on there, I might. I don't know if I'm willing to turn it on to buy Guilty Gear though. I don't think I am. But anyway, folks, this has been a Live and Level Gamers podcast, episode 116, SNK versus Capcom. Who did fighters better? Hope y'all enjoyed it. Till next time, folks. If y'all got anything to say, go ahead and sign out. If y'all want to, I know D2K don't like doing this, so
yeah, I signed
what's
out,
up?
Man. It was good talking with you guys. Wish yet I could have stayed. And people, I'm going to convince these guys that we need to play. What was that game? Sea of Thieves.
You know what the name of it is. It was to play it. You don't even remember what it is.
We're going to do this.
D2, you got any last words?
No. Just thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
All right. And hopefully we can get K-Bum back on here, man. And yeah, shout out to Jedi Knight. He couldn't stay, but he was here for a second. But anyway, this has been the episode 116. Till next time, folks. Deuces.